Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. Troy Reynolds, the suspect in a hit-and-run collision that resulted in the death of Yucca Valley teenager Joshua Barreras, is scheduled to return to court today for an early disposition hearing. Reynolds is accused of striking the victim with a truck and fleeing the scene on the evening of January 26, 2024. Sheriff's deputies found Barreras lying unresponsive in the center median of 29 Palms Highway near the intersection of Avalon Avenue. He was pronounced deceased at the High Desert Medical Center that night. Reynolds' last court hearing was on December 6th. He is charged with felony hit and run resulting in permanent injury or death and is currently out on $500,000 bail. Stay tuned to Z107.7 for updates. On the heels of the mass terminations facing federal employees across the nation, the job losses hit the high desert on Friday when 6 rangers were fired from Joshua Tree National Park, in a story broken by Z107.7's Heather Glisby. In response, residents picked up signs and headed to downtown Joshua Tree. Online news editor Robert Hayden went down and talked with the group. He picks it up from here.
On a warm and busy morning at the corner of Highway 62 and Park Boulevard in downtown Joshua Tree, a growing group of around 60 people gathered with signs, music, and a message.
Save our parks! Save our parks!
On Friday, 2,300 probationary employees were fired by the Department of the Interior following a directive from the Office of Personnel Management. The U.S. Department of the Interior is responsible for organizations that oversee public lands and policy, such as the Bureau of Land Management, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and the National Park Service. 6 Joshua Tree National Park rangers were part of those terminations, positions that people say are vital to the protection of public lands and the over 3 million visitors that come through Joshua Tree National Park each year.
I would say these are real people that are being hurt right now. To be empathetic of the people who are now unemployed, the people who are now worrying about how to pay their bills. We are here to support them because no one deserves to be fired, unfairly.
Supporters of National Park employees line the corner outside the Joshua Tree Saloon and Coyote Corner. It's also right across from the National Park Visitor Center and on Park Boulevard, which leads into Joshua Tree National Park. It's a busy area for a tiny town, and on a holiday weekend with temperatures peaking in the low 70s, both foot and vehicle traffic was heavy by 9 a.m. The group consisted of public land employees, both current and retired, local residents, business owners, and visitors from out of town who felt compelled to pick up a sign and show support for the Rangers.
It's upsetting to us. We don't like that. That's why we're here, standing in this corner. This is our vacation, and we're standing here at this corner to support our public employees and our public parks.
The idea is to protect our most beautiful places, and you can't do that if the parks aren't open or if there's not enough staff to handle it. My whole life has been national parks, from one side of this country to the other. There's just nothing else like it. Not much like it in other countries, and certainly nothing else like it here.
Almost everyone I talked to gave me their names and where they worked. You could tell that a lot of folks were reticent to identify themselves publicly. The holiday weekend may have felt like a short reprieve from Friday's mass firings, but further actions from the federal government seem to be on everyone's minds. While the number of terminated employees from the Department of the Interior was reported to be around 2,300, the total number of terminations across the federal government is estimated at over 200,000 people, according to a report by TheHill.com. At Monday's gathering, concerns about how those firings will impact the employees and their families was forefront, and many were concerned about how having less rangers on the staff will impact an already busy national park on the verge of spring, the busiest season of the year for the high desert and most other national parks.
It's super important to recognize that it's not just the employees, it's all their families that have moved. We've seen a lot of these rangers that have come in from other parks that have decades of experience, and because they just started here, they're being let go. So we just want everybody to understand that it's not just brand new employees. It's people that have thousands and thousands of hours of training and experience, and that we don't want to see them go.
Monday was President's Day, a federal holiday that gives most employees the day off. For those who have been recently fired or feel like their jobs are on the line, Monday's gathering was just the beginning of what is expected to be a long and uncertain fight to protect public lands and the people who are paid to work them. You can visit this story on our website to hear a longer version and to see photos from Monday's gathering. That's all at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
Graduating high school seniors can get $1,000 toward their college education from the Morongo Basin Conservation Association. 3 $1,000 scholarships are being offered to local high school graduates who are interested in pursuing environmental conservation. This pursuit can be through virtually any type of study, from science and technology to arts and mathematics, and applicants will write an essay explaining this connection. One of the 3 scholarships is funded by memberships and donations to the MBCA's nonprofit organization. The other 2 are specifically funded by anonymous donors, especially interested in supporting women in STEAM majors and students who plan to merge environmental protection and the arts in their future. Student applicants must be Morongo Basin residents and 2025 high school graduates. The minimum GPA requirement is 2.5. The application must be completed and submitted by midnight on April 6th. You can apply at the MBCA's website, mbconservation.org. Starting this fall for the 2025-2026 school year, Morongo Unified School District will be moving 29 Palms 6th graders from 29 Palms Elementary to 29 Palms Junior High, as announced on the MUSD website on January 29th. Reporter Gabriel Hart takes a closer look at this substantial transition for MUSD students.
Expanding the junior high to serve students grades 6 through 8, MUSD says this transition will create a more cohesive and enriching learning environment for middle grade students. Superintendent Dr. Patricio Vargas said, quote, "At 29 Palms Junior High School, students will have access to subject-specific teachers, offering more focused and specialized instruction as they navigate increasingly complex material," unquote. 6th grade students will also have access to a broader range of electives and extracurricular activities, which are not typically available in elementary school, which Vargas adds, quote, "will help students grow academically, socially, and emotionally as they prepare for the challenges of high school and beyond," unquote. This adjustment aligns 29 Palms Junior High School with neighboring districts across the state, streamlining the transition process for incoming students, including the many military families the district serves. This change applies only to 29 Palms schools and will not impact students on the west end of the Morongo Basin. In a frequently asked questions bulletin offered to parents, MUSD states that this will not affect transportation, with 6th graders being transported directly to 29 Palms Junior High. The junior high begins at 7:10 a.m. and ends at 2 p.m. 6th grade students will be placed in a cohort and will have 2 main academic teachers, one to teach math and science, another to teach English and history. Remaining periods will be available for electives and PE. To support this transition, both current 5th and 6th grade students will participate in the year-end celebration and promotion events, recognizing their advancement to the next phase of their education. For more information and phone number contacts, please visit this story at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Gabriel Hart.
And finally, today is the final day to register for Junior Tennis Playdays in 29 Palms. Organized by the city's Parks and Recreation Department, young athletes ages 7 to 18 are invited to participate in the tennis program with Coach Shea at the 29 Palms High School tennis courts. The program runs afternoons on Mondays and Wednesdays through March and April, with some events on Saturday mornings. You can register at a link in this story at Z107.7fm.com. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.